Hey students, good to see you all. Let's go to day 2 of what we're learning about isometries. Announcements right over here of all that stuff. I have 3 more slides to do, and I want to also do the learning activity questions. I think question 1 and question 3, just to clarify some things and give you that reassurance that you're doing it right. Or maybe if you got a little detail wrong, that maybe that will help you out. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Please remember discussion questions in the video. It's just a simple one, okay? I just need to know that you're watching these videos, and that's why I'm doing them. Okay, so again, we're doing isometries day 2, the transformations. Remember, we learned 4 different types. If I remember right, reflections, translations, rotations, and it's like reflection glide or something like that, right? So let's go ahead and try a problem out. So remember with our notation just right over here, I have here Rk of Rn. Just let me double check. Yep, Rk of Rn. And basically what that is saying that, remember, I have to, in this case, it's capital R. So that means, one sec, I need to fix my stylus. All right, stylus is fixed now. Okay, so like I was saying, we have here R of K of R of N of the triangle ABC. Basically what this means is a reflection, right? Remember we do the composition first that's closest to the shape. So in this case, we do the Rn first. And then remember we do the Rk second, all right? Think of it as another way to look at this as Rk of parentheses Rn and then ABC, right? So we kind of start with the ABC and then we work our way out. That's another way of writing it out, okay? So if I was to rotate this again, what I'm talking about is I have the line N and the line K. So the idea is I'm taking that triangle and reflecting across that line of reflection, right? So what you should have is, here's the first reflection. This should be your ABC prime. There you go, ABC prime. And then you reflect it again off RK. And there you have A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, okay? So if I was to look at this, if you saw that, it started from right over here and then it looked like it rotated actually. Well, when we have intersecting lines and we're doing reflections off those intersecting lines, so again, when we have intersecting lines and we're doing reflections off those, well, really what we can say is we're actually rotating. Okay, this is where I was talking about before about how these reflections can create a rotation. This is actually where that's happening at. So really what's going on here is what I'm doing to the triangle ABC is I'm rotating that 180 degrees. All right, and that's with intersecting lines. So that's a little detail I want to teach today. So let's try this again. Same methods, except now I have Rn of Rk of the letter H just right down there. Whoops, just right down there. So please pause this video, draw this out, and then we can go over it. So hopefully you pause, but again, I want to review this as Rk is your first thing you do is reflect first of line K, and then second is your Rn. We can also say this as Rk of R or Rk of Rn of H. So you start with the inside and work your way out. So again, we're starting with the inside and we're just working our way out. So when you do this, I'm trying to reflect. Whoops, looks like there's a typo in there too. This will be K, and this will be N. But again, I'm going to reflect off line K just right here. And that should give me H prime, technically. I guess you call it H prime, or just the image, right? So the image is there and it moves up. And then I'm going to reflect it again off N. And that should give me, there it is. That'd be your double prime, right? But really what's going on is you kind of look at it, it's kind of shooting up as it's reflecting. And we could say that is also a rotation. In this case, this rotation is 260 degrees of point Q right between those intersecting lines, or right there in the intersecting lines. And that's it. I mean, there's really no way to really measure that it's 260 degrees at this point. I guess one way to say it is, well, if this is 130 degrees right over here, then I guess since this is a straight line, this would have to be 50 degrees, right? And so that's 50 degrees. So I guess you kind of add those together, it gets close to about 230 degrees, right? So it's really hard to tell the exact, but that's just, if I was to measure this with a protractor, I would see that, oops, on this way, I would be going 260 degrees, okay? So go ahead and try this next one. If not, you'll just follow along with me. I need to double check if I wrote this right. It looks like I did. And yeah. So again, remember that we have here our N, that's first. Not capital R means reflection. And then RK is your second one. Another way to write this is RK of Rn of T. We first do the reflection of line N. So right over there. And then let's go ahead and do that. So again, I want to see how far away I'm from the reflection line. I'm just kind of eyeballing it really. It'll get pretty close. Let's see. Maybe about here. Oh boy, I'm not an artist. But you get the idea, right? We don't have points or anything to be exact, but this is the general idea, which is totally fine. And then next thing is do K off this one right here. And let's just use that as a reference. No, this is hard. Definitely not an artist. Well, I guess it looks something like this. Nope, needs to be more. So something like, is that close? Hey, you know what? It's close enough. That's pretty good without a ruler. So I can see that what's going on here is I had two reflections off those intersecting lines, and it actually created a rotation around P that was about 120 degrees. I'm not 100% sure, but if I was to kind of measure it, if this is 110 degrees, this is 70. It's really hard to say because this is like right there. Yeah, it's really hard to say. But if that was about, 2/3 away, that's about what, 35 plus 70, close enough, right? But the idea is you need to be able to reflect off those lines, and then also notice that it does make a rotation there. So here's your discussion question. Again, I am going to do a learning activity or two with you all just to give you that reassurance, right? There is going to be a PC, so go ahead and tell me from 1 to 10 how you feel about it. But let's do those quick learning activity questions, okay? So right over here, I'm trying to follow this sequence and figure out where it's going to land at. So the first thing I got to do is, again, looks like we have a reflection and a translation. The first thing I want to do is the translation. So I'm basically translating the points 4, 1. Remember, this is going plus your x and plus your y. So then what's going on is I add 4 to the x values for each one of those points. And then the y values add 1. So it looks like I have 5, 7, 9, 4, 8, 2. And then I could reflect that on this graph over here. But keep in mind, the learning activity does not want you to do that. It wants you to get the final piece, but I'll just do it for this case, just so we can get it more clear. So I got 5, 7, 9, 4, then 8, 2. So I have something that's about right there. Let's just call this A, B, C prime. But that's not what you're trying to draw, okay? What you're trying to draw is A double prime, B double prime. So what's going on is you're reflecting off this y-axis. So that's what we're doing second, is reflecting. That's second. And what happens if you reflect off that y-axis? What's changing here? So you have your values, right, that it reflects off the y-axis. What's going on? If you said it looks like the x values are changing, you are correct. So really what's going on is my x values become negative. Looks like all the x values become negative, or they switch to the opposite sign. So there you have it. Go ahead and graph that. -9, 4. negative 8, comma 2. Cool. So if I was to draw this out, that's my ABC double prime, and this would be the final answer. All right, one more. So this one's question 4. Let's go ahead and practice that again. Remember, we're doing reflection of the x-axis this case, and then a translation of -4, comma -1. So this is first. I'm going to do that. So again, these are your x values. Looks like I'm subtracting your x and you're subtracting your y to each of those points. So for A, I'm going to subtract 4, which gives me -2, and then 5, which gives me 4 minus 1, right? If I was to do B, that gives me 2, comma 2, and then C, let's see, 0, comma 0. All right, let's put that in there. So I got 0, comma 0, 2, comma 2, -2 up 4. So there's your translation. Remember, it moved over to the left, it looks like, -4, and then went down 1. So if you see that, that's totally correct. I'll just say this is A, B, C prime. Actually, I'll put those primes in there, be more exact. And then the second thing is you have to do this reflection, right? This is the second part. So now I'm reflecting off the x-axis. If I'm reflecting off the x-axis, now what's changing now? Is the x's or the y's changing if I'm reflecting from this top to the bottom now? What's going on? Now, if you said the y values are changing, you are absolutely correct. So remember, all the y values now are going to get the opposite signs. And there you have it. So if I was to graph this, we got -2, -4, +2, +4, -4. Oop, I'm going crazy. Sorry, that's 2, comma -2. I'm thinking too fast. And then I just put those together, and that will be where your answer is for A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. There you go. That's what I want. Alrighty, so that's it for today's lesson. Hopefully it was not too bad for you all this week. Remember, we have a PC. I think I'm going to give you a code and you just do it on your own kind of PC. I'm pretty confident of doing that. I'm going to open up on Thursday, okay? So tomorrow, which should be Wednesday, I'll give you the review. I'll open that up. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll maybe do 1 or 2 problems for the review. And yeah, I'll open up on Thursday and you have till Monday to take it, and then I'll close that code up. So other than that, have a great week. We got 3-4 more weeks of school. We're almost there to the summer. It's already feeling great. Please take some time to go outside. I'm running outside a lot. That's why I'm always wearing these workout shirts, because I'm always running. I'm feeling really great doing it. And yeah, get that vitamin D. We'll see you all later.